Governor Akpabio calls for support for sustenance of good leadership in the state. Work resumes tomorrow after 2-day Eid al-Kabir holiday. African Church Women's League South-South Zone 2 Conference round in Ikorepene. Details of these and other stories in just a moment. Good evening and welcome to AKB 5 News. I am Jeffrey Orok. Governor Akpabio has tasked chairman of government councils in the state to work together as a united family and support plans of good leadership in the state. Chief Akpabio gave the task in a telephone conversation from Abuja during the consultation of the Akwa Ibom State chapter of the Association of Local Government of Nigeria, Algon, by the Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Udomi Manuel. The government described the grassroots politicians as the engine room for national development, said it was the local government leaders to mobilize support for the consolidation of the common transformation so that the state would continue to witness steady progress. Tomorrow, after the 2-day public holiday declared by the federal government to mark the Muslim festival of Eid al-Kabir, public servants in Akwa Ibom State who travel for the long weekend have since returned in preparation for work. During the holiday, normal business activities were going on as markets and shops remain open, though with little patronage. Also, traffic was low on public highways and streets of Uyo due to the hike in pump prices of petrol by dealers and the attendant increase in the inter and intra-city transport fares by motorists. In Akwa Ibom State, the Eid al-Kabir celebration was generally peaceful. More than 1.600 kilograms of illicit drugs have been destroyed in the state. The drugs comprise of cocaine, hemp, heroin, among others, were publicly destroyed by the State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency during its first exhibit burning exercise in the state. First was that the event was witnessed by the State Deputy Governor, Lady Valerie Ebe, who represented Governor Gospel Akpabio, heads of security and law enforcement agencies.
Governor Akpabio, while commending the State Command of NGLEA for cooperating with the state government to keep the state a drug-free society, said that illicit drugs are destructive to humans. The governor advised youths to desist from drug addiction and abuse, which is capable of ruining their future and the society. He promised the support of the state government to the state command of the NGLEA to enable it to achieve its mandate.
And knowing that this is the time for 2015 election and it's coming soon, if we allow our children engage in drugs, we know what we are looking for, because there will be such hostility that we ourselves cannot control. And what you are going to do now, you are doing it at the right time, because if you discourage drugs and you go into the nooks and crannies of this state to ensure that such things are not left uncontrolled.
The state commander of the NGLEA, Barrister Josephine Obi, who decried the dangers of illicit drugs such as cocaine, heroin, and hemp, enumerated the physical, social, psychological, and physiological consequences of illicit drugs on the users and the society. There will be a involvement of non-governmental and community-based organizations in public enlightenment, logistics, and rehabilitation of drug abusers.
We appeal for the support and active involvement of all in this war. We need more non-governmental organizations and community-based organizations to get involved in public enlightenment and the rehabilitation of drug abusers.
The chief executive of NGLEA, Amadou Giade, who was represented by Sunday Ogbonna, said the burning exercise is in line with the mandate of the agency to ensure a drug-free society, and thanked the state command for the feat. He noted that the agency has partnered with music and film industries to on dangers of illicit drugs, and the agency will continue to provide counseling and rehabilitation services to persons engaged in drug abuse.
The NDLEA will support these giant strides by eradicating illicit drugs in the country. We know that the first line of action in crime prevention is effective drug control. Narcotic drugs are like cancerous growths that spread to other parts of the body if left unchecked. Drug addiction leads to criminal behavior. Drug abuse is closely linked with traffic offenses, murder, armed robbery, assassination, arson, aggravated assault, and terrorism. This underscores the necessity to support drug eradication programs.
Guests were shown samples of illicit drugs while the destruction certificate for the exhibit was presented to the state government.
As we witness the public burning of illicit drugs seized from the state today by members and officers of the NGLEA, it is our hope that the state will be crime-free and that this will be reduced as members and officers of NGLEA continue with their work. Patience John, reporting.
The Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Dumi Manuel, has charged members of the Kwebe Church to continue to support the State Government in its bid to transform the state for the better. Mr. Manuel, who represented Governor Godswill Akpabio, stated these at the 105th anniversary of Kwebe Church, Iwerefort Uyu. At the occasion, the church honored Mr. Dumi Manuel, the deacon of the church, and others with Excellence Award. Mr. Manuel Governor Akpabio for his godly disposition in administering the affairs of the state and charged members of the church not to relent in their task of spreading the gospel. The Secretary to the State Government to announce a donation of a bus for evangelism also announced a donation of 5 million naira on behalf of Governor Akpabio to the church, and later led in praises to God. Also speaking, the wife of the State Governor, Mrs. Kaito Norma Akpabio, charged parents to join in the fight against child trafficking. In his homily, Reverend Akwatang of Kwebe Church Oron Superintendency spoke on the theme, "You are created for God's glory," said everyone owes God an obligation to serve Him faithfully. Reverend Akwatang recalled that Mr. Udumi Manuel made personal sacrifices to improve Kwebe Church, Surulere, Lagos, and reminded Christians that God requires such an obligation service to Him. Responding on behalf of others who were celebrated at the anniversary, the member representing Nsirubium in the State House of Assembly, Barrister Anofia Luke, announced cash donation and a 32-seater bus to the church, whilst Imam Akpabio also donated an 18-seater bus. The occasion was attended by the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Elder Samikon, members of the private sector and political class. Keke riders have appealed to the state government to create township drop point for tricycles and other commercial transport services in the Yobe state capital. The Keke riders met the appeal during a routine road safety campaign by the Road Safety Special Marshal Corps Unit 4. Florence Omot reports.
The Keke drivers, while interacting with the special marshals and the road safety officials, lamented their concerning what they termed as incessant harassment by various with unrecognized identifications. They expressed their sincere willingness to abide by the road safety rules and regulations, but said that they were overwhelmed and confused by the multitude of conflicting directives from the various who themselves as task force officials. The Keke operators therefore urged the government and relevant agencies to put road markings and signs where they can pick or drop passengers.
For how long have this been? about 10 minutes.
Do you normally wait this long?
No, not at all.
The different locations visited by the road safety officials were Okokonetok by Oron Road, Ikpa Road, Korekbene Road, and the Akwanandem and Keke stop. When the marshals, alongside with the federal road safety officials, arrived at the locations unnoticed, some of the Keke operators were seen loading up to 4 passengers. The teams went into action and ordered the extra passengers to disembark. However, when it became clear to the Keke operatives that the aim of the team was to listen and not to pay, the once rowdy atmosphere became orderly and interactions then began.
Please, we beg you people, when you are in the right position to say something about us, tell the state government.
You don't have a problem, can be good enough. You will come with me. It's your nearby the Media.
Boys, okay, we get some kiso, I'm listening for fans. Because then, yeah, it is a problem. I think I'm listening for the kiso.
Boss, you being a governor, you don't go, maybe a government, commissioner of transport. Yeah, I think all this lookout force, get more than
And but one thing I observe is that there is no road safety corps there among the policemen and the people that did the illegal work. So they should, if this thing is real and if this thing is true, let there be road service corps there to assist the process. But if the thing is not real, they should leave the people alone so that we have peace.
The leader of the special and road safety team, Mr. Inyo Otang, urged the Keke operators to obey rules, avoid drunken driving, overloading, and driving on speed lanes. Of the state monitoring team, Minister said that it was the task force to the free of on the roads.
They will not find place at some you know, like cake, but we don't block. Maybe you can take it as a all like for example, like if I go road, they used to like say, Kenjang Mojo, you use one lane, Mojo use one lane. Coconut, what am I going to go road? Mojo Magadina.
More news after the break. Stay tuned.
The drive towards industrialization, the drive towards taking Akwa Ibom to the world is a task and a desire that every well-meaning citizen of Akwa Ibom should identify it.
Like minds decided to come together to advance leadership learning.
What type of governance would we be looking for? What is the need for you as a professional to sit at home while you have people that are not competent to run your government?
Akwa Ibom Young Professionals Leadership Initiative has decided that Udom deserves our mandate.
Edianobo.
My challenge to the Akwa Ibom youth today is to rise up and protect the uncommon transformation. Rise up and protect the uncommon transformation. There must be sustainability. So for me as a governor, I'm charging Akwa Ibom children. The future belongs to you. Your fathers have done their bit. Rise up and protect your future. Bring a governor that will bring industrialization. Bring a governor that will bring progress. Bring a governor that will bring development. Not the one that goes on ethnic cleavage. Not the one that goes to bring tribalism. Not the one that gangs up with elders and wants to come through the window. I want to use this opportunity to congratulate our dear President, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, for the endorsement given to him by the National Executive Committee of our party as the sole candidate in 2015 presidential election. I want to thank the people of Nigeria for recognizing that leadership comes from God, and God gives it to whom He pleases. So I stand with my dear President so that he will succeed for my children to have Nigeria tomorrow. I thank Nigeria for supporting Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
It's so lovely to be back. The African Church Women's League South-South Zone 2 Annual Conference 2014 has ended with a Thanksgiving service. A 3-day conference with the theme, God is our refuge and strength, was held at the Saviour's Cathedral, the African Church Nigeria, Uruso, in Ikorekpene Diocese. Etienne Ebanga reports.
That was the atmosphere as the women converged on the auditorium of the African Church Uruguso in Ikorekpene to appreciate God for His faithfulness throughout the conference. Speaking at the occasion, the wife of the Secretary to the State Government, Mrs. Martha Odomimano, described the theme of the conference as apt and charged women to continue to be steadfast in the Lord and be truthful in their dealings. Mrs. Emmanuel, who was a guest of honor, commended the African Church Women's League for organizing the conference and for their prayers for the state government and made cash donation.
You have to dwell in the tabernacle of God before He can protect you. When you try to stray away and look for protection elsewhere, you will miss out. So I want to encourage all women, go back with this thing. Believe me, teach it to your children, to your household, that from the convention you came, the thing was God is our refuge and only Him is our refuge.
The Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Dr. Glory Edith, represented by a director in her ministry, Mrs. Edima Ndabong, admonished them to always go on their knees in difficult situations. In a sermon, Pastor Imabong Nyambi Akbet said God is always there to help, provide refuge, security, and peace. She urged the women to focus on God in spite of all situations they may encounter in life. In an interview, the Bishop of Uyo Diocese of the African Church, the Right Reverend D.B. Koladokubo, said the idea of the conference was to bring women of the South-South Zone 2 together to exchange ideas and promote the spread of gospel.
The only message I will give to them is to listen to the word of God and practice what the word says. What is happening in the country is because we have left the word behind and doing whatever thing that we wanted to do. But if the word of God is enough and we practice it effectively, our lives will change and Nigeria will change.
On our part, Mother General of the South-South Zone 2 from Ikorekpene Diocese, Professor Felicia Edem, pointed out that the theme of the conference, God is our refuge and strength, was predicated on the need for women to rely on God as the chief security officer of their lives. Professor Edem described the conference as a great revival for women, judging from programs they were exposed to, including seminar on health, security, as well as drama, sound teachings, Bible quiz, among others.
It has been very successful because the women have become very aware of what is happening in the country. Even the medical, we had a medical session, a talk on Ebola and healthy living products yesterday. We have had the Bible quiz. We have had dramas and praise recitations. It has been a revival for women.
the South-South Zone 2 of the African Church comprises 7 dioceses of Akwa Ibom Central, Ikorekpene, Uyo Central, Ibibio South, Uyo, Anang, and Calabar. The conference featured Thanksgiving, choir ministration, and cutting of 2nd anniversary cake. Uyo Diocese was adjudged based on attendance and inquiries. Etienne Oibanga reporting.
The 19th Annual Convention of the Apostolic Church, Eto area, has ended at the area headquarters, Ikorantem, Etui, Uyo local government area. The annual spiritual meeting, which started on Friday last week, and Climax Sunday, brought together Apostolic Church faithful from the 6th district of Etui, Ifatai, Itiam, Edem Akai, Anyanya, and Ikorapapi, which make up the area. Now reports on the convention.
The convention was called by the Uyo Field Superintendent Amos Ikbe and his deputy Dr. Ime George, while Apostle E. Emebong was the host. The convention had as its special features healing and meetings, as well as witness open air in addition to special messages and choir renditions. In a message, the Deputy Field Superintendent, Dr. Emil George, said the spiritual meeting was ordained for blessing, adding that for one to be blessed, one has to know how to go about it. Dr. George, who said blessing is from God, explained that its ways are hidden. From the Matthew chapter 6 verse 5, and quoting other biblical passages to support the argument, the man of God, who is also a university teacher, said that man goes out of his way in search of blessings, explaining that man's thought of blessing is better explained in Maslow's theory of human needs: physiological, safety, love, and belongings, self-esteem, and self-actualization. Dr. George said the secret of the Lord is with those that fear Him, and that God only reveals these secrets to those who and search. He mentioned the ways to blessings as righteousness, belief in God, as well as seek His kingdom, adding that righteousness, peace, and joy in the Lord are the only pathways to wealth. Commenting, the Eto area Apostle E. Emebong said he was thankful to God for a successful convention. He the faithful for their steadfastness and contributions to the spiritual development and growth of the church, explaining that God reward spiritually and otherwise.
All the members in the entire area are rejoicing over the success of the Eto area temple and the sources of the meeting. For even though it is the month of October, we are conducting the convention under a dry atmosphere.
Others commented were full of appreciation and thanks to God for His mercies and love for the church.
It has been a wonderful congregation. The blessings of the Lord have been marvelous. We thank God because His presence came down, and people that were sick, they are healed by the power of God. There are breakthroughs, there are miracles, there are signs and wonders. So we really appreciate God.
Whatever is happening here, the presence of God is here. So it makes me feel happy that the preaching and the prayer and everything that is done is geared toward the fulfillment of God's promises.
Sunday, 5th October 2014 will remain memorable for Elder Okunapan, a former staff of AKBC, and wife Deaconess Elizabeth, when they dedicated their first child, Master Miracle to God, after 30 years of marriage. The ceremony, attended by family members and friends of elder and deaconess, took place at the Apostolic Church at Yamkwat Assembly in the Tongoku District, Ikorobiota area, Uyo Field. Dedicating the baby, the officiating minister, Apostle Samuel Udia, said that children are the heritage of God and a gift to the parent. They pray that the little boy grows up to fulfill his destiny and admonish the parent to train their children in the ways of God. Apostle Udia encouraged Christians to have faith in God because God never fails. Preaching on the theme, My God is a God of remembrance, Elder Andy Freke Dick urged Christians to always wait on God. According to him, those who wait on the Lord will never be ashamed.
Human I thought that Noah himself he considered as a man should consider, has God forgotten me? He is not the one that said I should make this out. Hallelujah. Amen. But the Bible makes me to know in Genesis 8:1, and God remembered Noah.
In their thanksgiving, Elder and Mrs. Okonakwan thank God for the gift of the boy after 30 years of marriage and for the privilege to be counted among parents. And now to the news, the main points again. Work resumed tomorrow after a 2-day Eid al-Kabir celebration. We also brought you a report that the African Church Women's League South-South Zone 2 Conference has ended in Ikorekpene. That's it on our package. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeffrey Orok.